we're live. Hello, everyone. Hello. I know everyone is going to take a minute or two to beam in and start watching us, so I'll just rattle on for a minute. But it's Jane Tara from Better Reading. I'm so excited about tonight because we have one of our favourites here. We have Kathy Lette here in Australia. Actually, you're not even in a weird time difference from London, but yeah. Yeah, but I know everyone's going to be very excited because your latest book, The Revenge Club, is going gangbusters, and I know that our readers are loving it, and they will start coming on in a minute. But welcome home to promote your book and hopefully, be doing a little bit of writing and catching up with family and friends and everything. I know you do like to come home for the summer, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I try and just follow the sun. I'm freshening up my melanomas wherever I go. But I'm in Melbourne right now, and I'm staying at the Langham, and the view, I'm right over the river, and there's the moon.
There's the moon.
So beautiful.
It's like one of those, mystical orbs, like a fairy orb or something over your head. Yeah.
So it's so nice to have.
Christine's in. Hi, Kathy and Jane. Carolyn's in. Good evening, Kathy. Yes, so we're starting to have them come in now. And I know that a lot of people are excited to hear about the book. I know that you have been out there talking about it, but we're going to get you talking about it a little bit more tonight. So can you start off with just giving us the elevator pitch about the Revenge Club?
Well, it's basically about 4 women who take revenge on the men who put them out to career pasture for the crime of being menopausal. So it's a little bit First Wives Club crossed with 9 to 5, crossed with Mr. Doubtfire. I say no more about that. But it's very cathartic. And I wrote it from a place of anger for myself because after 20 novels that have been published in 18, 19 languages, I gave the idea for this book, and my agent, who's pale male stale, he's gone now, he said, I don't think anyone wants to read about middle-aged women. And then I showed it to my publisher, and they said the same thing. Middle-aged women just aren't that sexy. And my publisher dropped me. And I thought, gosh, maybe I have passed my amuse-by date. Maybe that's all over for me at 64. I'm 65 now. And then I thought, no. I looked around at my women friends, and they were all having the time of their lives, swinging off a chandelier with a toy boy between their teeth, going on with their girlfriends, coming into their own. I thought, women our age are so interesting. Our hinterland is so delicious. We've had the heartbreaks and the marriages and the betrayals and the divorces and the promotions and the setbacks and the love affairs, and we've got so much to talk about. So I sacked my agent, got a gay male agent who got the book like that. 2 books the next day with news. And of course, women, the book is kind of just riding the zeitgeist. There's a lot of women out there fed up with ageist sexism. So, it
absolutely is, and it's going gangbusters. So was this the actual book that your other agent read and went, we don't do these stories anymore. We're past this. It was. I bet he's kicking himself now.
Isn't it nice? Revenge.
Yeah. Speaking of Revenge Club,
the best thing about revenge, it's sweet but totally non-fattening. So I think that's why women are drawn to it, and we're good at it. So but it taught me a good lesson too as a woman. We're always told we're brought up to be decorative and demure and to be, never not to make a fuss, to pour oil on troubled water. Well, no, kick back, fight back, be loud, be proud.
Doing that though.
Those four can be fabulous, if not now, when?
So exactly. So with the Revenge Club, so I picked up, and I've got a proof.
Oh yeah.
Here. And I will say that I picked this up probably about a couple of months ago, and I opened it up and I read this. Of course, fate sometimes does the dirty work for you. It's called karma, and it's pronounced "ha ha, you bastard." And I laughed and that is not even a paragraph in. I laughed out loud and I went, oh, yeah, I'm in good hands, as always with Kathy Lette. But this time it's on steroids. Like, you've gone even further with this. And we'll get into it a little bit later. I'm hoping this is a series. Maybe it's a series.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes, but it is it's as funny as your books always are. You know, you are the queen of the puns and the wit and the funny, but it's really such a celebration of friends and sisterhood and so much heart in it. Tell me about the writing process for you. Tell me about, what you were trying to achieve, what state you were in at that time, and you went, this is the story I need to tell.
Well, every time I read a book about a woman my age, I mean, you're much younger than me, but every time
Not
I read
that much.
pretty good to me. And you and I write about the same terrain. We
Yeah.
your wonderful book is also about a similar sort of topic.
Mm.
But whenever I read a book about a woman my age, she's either withering away with loneliness in her flat, and then she dies of dejection and gets eaten by her cat.
By cats.
Kind of Anita Bruckner sort of thing.
Yes.
Or if you read any crime fiction, there's no man can walk through a woodland without stubbing his toe on the victim, a woman who was killed because she was a nag or she needed her come up, whatever. And I was just so fed up with the way women my age are treated. And society does kind of hand us the cloak of invisibility. And it's not just me imagining that. I mean, we've got this spy scandal going on in Australia. MI5 a couple of months ago in England, the spy group.
Yes.
They wanted to recruit middle-aged women as spies because nobody sees us.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, well, are we going to use that cloak of invisibility for good or for evil? I'm thinking evil. So the women in my novel do go out and have fantastic fun taking revenge on the men who've betrayed or belittled them. But it is also a celebration of sisterhood because, first of all, I think Australian women are the best, the world's best kept secret. Funny, feisty, fiercely loyal. When you go on an Australian girls' night out, you have to be hospitalised from hilarity.
Yes.
We laugh, we cackle like kookaburras.
Yeah.
But when you're on a girls' night out, everybody's laughing, and then suddenly you're all hugging and crying as well.
Yeah,
so cathartic.
I love it. Yes, yeah.
And
and you call girlfriends wonder bras.
Yes,
because they support you, they lift you up, they make you look better.
Uplifting, supportive, it makes you look bigger and better, and it's true.
Yeah.
I think, for all of us, our life would be very flat without our friends, and I think as you get older, you appreciate that even more. I think some younger women can be a bit competitive. I mean, I was never like that. I've got 3 fantastic sisters, where the sisterhood was always very strong in my house. We've got a wonderful mother who was a teacher; that was her vocation. So, but I know younger women, some women could be competitive, but as you get older, they kind of lose that, and they really just appreciate the sisterhood so much more.
I agree. Do you think that's because that comes across in your books and that's why you're so popular? Because women's women read your books and they can relate to you, and they see in you someone who understands female friendship.
Yeah. And I love them. I mean, when I'm on book tour, I've been on book tour now for 5 weeks or something, going all over Australia to Perth, Canberra, Adelaide, Brisbane. Haven't got much out to the outback. But every time I meet my women readers, they're so lovely. I just want to go on a girls' night out with all of them instantly.
Now, hold on a minute.
No,
that's not a bad idea.
They're witty. They're warm. They're wonderful. And I think if I have any gift at all as a writer, it's writing down the way women talk when there's no men around. But it's also putting into words what women might be thinking, but might not necessarily have the chutzpah to say out loud, and I
Mm,
say it for them. So I
mm.
think they find it empowering and sort of liberating too. And they come with their girlfriends, and and we're talking about the Wonder Bras. I mean, I'm wearing a Wonder Bra right now, and it's called a Wonder Bra because when you take it off, you wonder where the hell your tits went. And
Mine
you
are around my knees. Yeah.
but never wonder where your female friends have gone. Cherish,
Mm.
let your cups runneth over with love for each other,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
they're with you. Husbands come and go, and
That's my experience, yes.
yeah, but your girlfriends last forever, and
Mm,
but you are allowed to cull as well. I mean, if you have a friend who's a bit of an energy vampire, or you start to feel any bitterness, and if things aren't working, you can actually take a step away from a friend for a while till it resets. But
mm.
most I just find the one thing I am doing is getting younger friends, because I realize a lot of my friends are a bit older than me, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be pushing them all around in their bloody Zimmer frames. So I'm grooming younger female friends so they push me
Right.
around.
But it's good. It's good for them. It's good for younger women also to actually have friends who are older. I've always had much older friends, and
Yeah,
I've recently got to the age where I've gone, okay, now I need the younger women in my life as well, because I've got to be the older woman who goes,
yeah,
come on in. It's great in here. It's
yeah.
great in your 50s,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
that's what I'm
right.
trying to
And
do with them.
yeah, and I try and do that as well, is say to women, that actually the best time of your life is to come. Once you get
Yes.
through the menopause, which is awful, where you
Oh,
sweat more than Donald
yes.
Trump doing a Sudoku, once you get through, you actually are liberated, because you've
Mhm.
cut the psychological umbilical cord that kept you tethered to the kitchen by your heart and your apron strings. The kids are
Yes.
old, hopefully out the door by 24. They've left the
Yes.
nest. And for the first time in history, women are economically independent. We've got the
Yes.
rocket fuel of HRT.
I
So,
was going I've got that written down. I love that you call it that.
oh my
And I
God,
wanna
yeah. But
talk to
again,
you about that because you're very open about that. You're open about, HRT being a gift for women and our
yes.
sex drive, so we can actually embrace what we should naturally be grabbing hold of at this age, and that's fun.
Yeah, fun. Because we're mothers, especially mothers, but all women, we always put ourselves last. You
Mm.
know, if you're a mum, you always get the burnt chop. You never get the
Yeah, yeah.
you ever get the window seat on an aeroplane or anything like that. I mean,
Yeah.
first world problems, but you know what I mean? Even the guinea pig and the dog's birthdays are more important than yours in the house. We know that. We're kind
Yes.
of runners up in the human race. But
Yeah.
then for the first time post-menopause, you can put yourself first for
Mm.
the first time and not feel guilty about it. Like, mothers, our guilt glands throb all the time. As women, our guilt glands throb all the time. Are we looking after enough people, taking care of our parents, taking care of our friends, whatever? But you just what happens is your estrogen drops and your testosterone comes up a little bit. So you get a little bit more bolshy, a little bit more self, a
Yes.
bit more like a bloke, actually. And it's
Mm.
bloody fabulous. Also,
Mm.
no period cramps, no pregnancy scares. You've got all that tampon money to
Oh,
spend.
yes,
You know, go
100%. I love
go
it. It
So
is. It's very
it's
freeing.
don't you find too that you find yourself saying what you think out, like, often I would think something but not say it, but now I'm thinking something and I go, oh, I think that just came out of my mouth.
Yes.
Because you no longer care. You just sort of, I wanted to invent a new genre, as I kind of invented. I hate the term chick lit, but I did kind of invent that with
Well,
puberty
you
blue.
invented "I don't give a shit" lit, is it? Yes, I
That's
don't
not that's what I'm calling it,
lit.
and I
Yep.
thought a
Yeah.
genre for women our age. I thought, chook,
Yes.
no, I don't
No.
give a shit. It's fantastic.
It
Why
is
not?
perfect for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. And I agree. Like, I think, you say what is just in your brain, it comes out your mouth. The big thing for me is I've stopped apologizing.
Exactly. Exactly. Stopped saying sorry.
Mm,
Yeah. And women, we're too nice. We're far too nice.
mm.
And I'm hoping that my daughter and her generation are a bit stronger about all of that. They're not, as I find, well, I can only go by my daughter and her friends, they're not as male-centric and man-pleasing as we
I
were.
agree.
And that is a huge step forward for womankind. And
Mm.
because they've been raised by us, I suppose, saying don't.
Yes, I agree. I've only got sons, but I see that generation of women, they're quite different. I was a mess. I was a mess. It took me a long time to really work out who I was and, stand strong in my own energy and identity. But I think younger women today have information and tools at their fingertips, and they're just amazing. They're really incredible.
And also younger men hopefully are getting are better.
Oh,
I mean, I know
yeah.
there's a lot of issues around consent and all of that. And
Mm,
it's terrible that they're all porn addled and everything. But they've been raised by feminists, and I'm hoping they've kind
exactly.
of flopped onto the shore and evolved a little bit. Although I must say, some of the sexism hasn't changed. I think back to the days of puberty blues, the double standards when it came to sexuality. Like a woman, a man who was sexually active in those days was a stud muffin, a spunk rat, as we said in the Shire.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
love Lothario,
I still
Romeo.
love the word spunk rat. I think
I
we
know
should
I
go
do
with that.
too.
But yeah.
But a woman with the same sexual appetites was a slut, a tart, a tramp,
Yep,
a model. And I don't think that has changed. The double standards are still there.
I agree.
Guys still expect girls to be so virginal. It's like when the guy says,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, darling, darling, am I the first man to make love to you?" To which the woman replies, "Of course. I don't know why you men keep asking the same silly
Yeah.
question." So some things haven't changed enough. But we need to say to men, we no longer want your seats on the bus. We want your seats on the board. We've got to get more women in positions of power to really make a change. And also, we've got to get men to join us at the barricades. We're
Yes.
never going to get equal pay until
Yes.
go, you know what, this is not on. And
Yeah.
come and fight with us. So
Yeah.
it's about bloody time, in my view.
One of the things, so you used the word feminist before, and you've been writing feminist literature or books for your whole career. Your
Yeah.
whole career. You've been fighting for women your whole career, and you've been doing it while you're funny. So I don't think there are some circles that really understand the impact that you've had on women. And certainly my generation of women, from puberty blues right through 20 books. Is this your 20th? Yeah, 20 books. You've been shaping our approach to sex and relationships and men and ourselves and the way that we view ourselves. And I think humor is the best way
Me
to
too.
approach feminism, because people don't like being lectured.
No.
So if
Yeah.
you entertain them, which you do, you
And so
entertain
do you.
them.
So do you.
Well, you've blazed that trail. So
Oh,
thank you.
good.
You've blazed the trail.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think it's always better if you can disarm with charm. If you can make people laugh, their
Yes.
defenses go down a little bit. So especially, if you want to bring men into to fight, be at the barricades and fight alongside sides, you can't really alienate them. So women often tell me they'll be reading one of my books and their male partner will go, "Oh, what are you reading a book by that loudmouth broad for?" Whatever. And then he'll go, she'll laugh at something. He'll go, "Read it out to me." And she'll read it out and he'll go, "Oh," then he'll go, "Read me another bit." And she'll read another bit. And then eventually he'll disappear with the book into the bathroom. You know how, because men think sitting on the toilet's a leisure
Oh, yeah.
activity. Never get that.
Never touch a book after a man's had it in the bathroom.
I think, isn't that good? If I can make him laugh, I might make him think about the way he is with women.
Yes.
So that's a really good thing. So yeah, I do. And also I just try and entertain my women friends, because I know most women are doing it hard in some way. And if I can lighten their load and give them a laugh and also give them some ammunition, because even though men are physically stronger than women, women are more verbally dexterous. We use on average about 350, 400 more words a day in our daily vocabulary. So we can shoot from the lip. We can give flash. We can actually, I call it the black belt in tongue fu. So if a man is belittling you in some way, if you can take him down with a great one-liner, you've won.
Mm.
I give talks in schools, I always say to girls, you're underdressed if you go out without a couple of really good one-liners tucked up your trouser leg. And they can get my books. I write masses of them in there. So
Mm.
it's a really good weapon to have in our armory to defend ourselves. But getting back to the books, I always write the book I wish I'd had when I was going through something. And
Yes.
it's almost like a manual, a how to survive manual I pass on to the next women coming up. So starting with puberty and then being a single girl around Sydney, trying to find a man who wasn't, married or gay, or married and gay, being Sydney, marriage, childbirth, raising a teenage daughter, raising a teenage son, raising a son with autism, menopause, divorce, toy boys, whatever I've been going through. I'm like, this is what I learned. This will help you find the funny in whatever you're going through. So that's what I try.
So with this one, so you have there's 4 characters. They're around the 60s: Matilda, Joe, Penny,
Cressy, and Penny, yeah.
And like all of them are fabulous characters. But talk to me about Matilda.
Oh, well, so basically the book is about 4 women who are at university together in England. Matilda's Australian, but she went over there as a sort of Rhodes Scholar. And they obviously had a terrible falling out at university. We don't know why, but it's sort of in the background. We find out later on in the book. But one of them had moved to America to work in special effects movies, and she's coming back to London, and she's the one who says, let's get together. So they meet a bit tentatively. The 3 of them arrive first, Penny, Cressy, and Matilda. And they do the way women do. They pick up where they left off, and they're laughing and talking, and then this man comes and sits down at their table. And they're like, you can't sit there. We're waiting for our girlfriend. And he's like, yeah, I know. You're waiting for Joe Logan. And they go, how do you know that? And he's like, well, I'm Joe. And they're sort of shocked. They think, oh, my God, is he what's happened? Is he actually transitioned? And then she goes on to explain that she was working in Hollywood in special effects. She got the sack for being a menopausal hot mess of a woman. So just as a hoax, she went home and turned herself into a bloke with her special effects and stuff, went back to the same company, got a job, got a promotion and a pay rise. And she thinks, you know what? In a man's world, it's just so much better to be a bloke. And the 3 other friends, Matilda, who's a writer, Cressy, who's an actress coming back into the workforce, having given up acting to raise her children, and Penny, who's a television presenter. She's a current affairs journalist. They're all like, you're so wrong. There's never been a better time to be a woman, etc. And then that week, something catastrophic happens to all of them in their career. And then when they meet back a week later, they go, you're so right. Ageist sexism is so rife. And then they decide to take revenge. But, of course, they've got a secret weapon because Joe can now get into the men's room. So that's when the fun starts, So
it's such a great premise. It really is. And do you think, like, are you weaving yourself into Matilda?
Yeah. Totally. I mean, it's basically what happened to me. I mean, I was furious that I was dropped by my publisher, and that my agent said he couldn't promote. Really, there was nothing sexy about writing about women my age. So I was furious. So to be able to write that character, and of course, what they do in the novel is that when her novel's been rejected, but then she resubmits it with a man's name. And of course, then they love it, and it gets published with great accolades. So, the time will come when they get to have their revenge by revealing that she actually wrote it. But that was my favorite part, was writing that character and being able to weave in all the sexism I've seen in the publishing world. That was very, very cathartic for me.
Talking of Revenge Club, so I'm going to go back. There's lots of comments here. Lots of hellos. Iona is saying, I'm reading the book at the moment and loving it. Leanne says hello to you from Adelaide. Chris says, Kathy, I absolutely loved the Revenge Club. That's so great. Melissa says, maybe middle-aged women want to read about middle-aged women. Thank you. Yes. What a shock, Melissa.
Yeah, what a shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also to see middle-aged women having fun and
Yes.
enjoying life.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know?
I know. Rather than us being the victims of something,
Yeah.
and sad sacks trying to get through it. How about it's just, life and love and fun. Wendy, good evening. Anna says hi to us both. Sally says hi. Happy Valley Books Read says, I'm so excited to read this book. Sandra says, how bloody rude of them. And you're right. She's talking about your agents. Anna, definitely on my to be read list. Sandra says, my next purchase, Kathy. Very good. Deborah says, hi. Leanne is laughing. Helen says, yeah, I'm nearly 80 and still having a wonderful time enjoying concerts, meals out, drinks, coffee, and great times with friends. Life does not end at 40. You bet.
You
You
bet.
bet. Yeah. And in
Better.
fact, Helen, my 82-year-old mother is sitting just over there on the lounge listening to this whole thing. Yeah, yeah, because she
What's
likes
her
to be
name?
involved. Vonnie.
Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie.
And we're doing a road trip tomorrow. We're going to do a road trip up north, up to Byron together. So it does not, and she's the most vital woman I know. So Jessica says, hi, Jane and Kathy. Barbie says, you're my age. Rock on.
Exactly. That's right.
The
Oh,
Women's Garden evening. So happy to have an opportunity to tune into this talk. Melissa, hooray, new careers for us. Michelle's like, yes. Kerry's Aussie girls rock, especially older ones. Kerry's great idea, loves the premise for your book. Lots of lols from Michelle. Helen, apart from one friend, all my friends are younger than me. Some are 20 years younger. The closest in age to me is 7 years younger, and this helps keep me younger. That's a good point, Helen,
very
actually.
good.
Yeah. Kerry, not anymore, baby. Yeah. I obviously relating to something that you're saying. And yes, Anna says, yes, I agree. We as mums always put ourselves last. I love this. I'm just ducking down past a few of them. There's so many, I can't read them all. But Deborah, my hysterectomy was the best thing I did.
Even that they call after a man. His. It should be a herectomy.
Hysterectomy.
Right? Hysterectomy. Yeah. What's he got to do with it?
Kerry says, I'm so loud now. My mum's not a happy camper with it. Lols. Yeah.
Lols. Exactly. Yeah.
So talk to me about your writing process. How do you write? Like, do you do 9 to 5? Do you do normal work hours? What is it? I know because you're would you call yourself an extrovert because you're out there? And I mean, a lot of authors are both. They'll be out there, they can be social, and then they need that time out to regroup.
I'm definitely both. But I mean, writing's, as you know, Jane, is a very solitary profession. By the end of the day, I'm so bored with myself. Even my imaginary friends are running away to find someone more interesting to play with. And that's why I go out a lot at night, see my girlfriends, go to theatre, go to concerts, whatever, because I find people really energizing, especially females. I love being around my women friends. So,
yeah, same.
so I am definitely a mix of both. But I have a lot of downtime writing and thinking and whatever. But I don't. I've also got an autistic son who takes a lot of my time. He's 33 now, I think, but he's still. I will never actually be able to cut the psychological umbilical cord completely. I'm his main carer. I mean, he's got his trainer wheels on. I'm sort of taking them off a little bit, but it's still a lot of mum time he needs. So I just write whenever I get a minute, a half hour, an hour, if in the dentist waiting room, when I'm going around post bail when he's been arrested or whatever, in the out of police office, oh yeah.
I know that. Yeah.
Not time for writer's block. My friends who have writer's block are actually the ones who have a lot of time. If you don't have time, you don't have time for writer's block. So I just write whenever I can. But I have to wait for this. I have to wait for what's percolating up inside me and making me angry. because I think poetic justice is the only true justice in the world. You can always impale enemies on the end of your pen, especially misogynists. So, yeah. And everything in this book, every single bit of sexism is real. It either happened to me,
I
to a
agree.
friend,
It is.
or it's something I read about in the
Feel
papers.
it. Mm.
Still living in a man's world. So everything in there will resonate. Things have got a bit better, I think, since the Me Too movement. I think those top order predators are still there. They've kind of fall under the rock. But I was telling this story the other day. I'd forgotten about it, actually. Someone was asking me what it was like when I was a young woman starting out in my career. And this is something that really happened to me. I went to a TV station. I was going for a job interview to be on screen. I already had a book out, already had a newspaper column. I wasn't completely green. But as the 5 guys sat in a semicircle in front of me. One of them put $10 on the table and said, "I bet I can make your tits move without touching them." And I just went, "Oh, yeah, whatever." He leaned over, mauled my breasts and said, "Ha ha, you won, there's the $10. And I said, "I bet you $20 I can make your balls move without touching them," and kicked him between the legs. Got the job, by the way.
Yes.
But today you'd have a sexual harassment suit, but there was no such thing as that.
No.
Every day you went to work, you strapped on your bulletproof bra, took a deep breath, and went in, had to deal with the banter and the put downs and the comments about how you look and whether you were good in bed and what rating they were giving you on the sexometer and all that sort of stuff. But at least things have got a little bit better, not complete. Just open the paper any day and see that that women are still fighting these fights. But at least we've got the legal ammunition to take them on. So I don't think optimism is an eye disease. I am hopeful for women and women finding more traction in the world. But yeah, we still have a long way to go. And until we get equal pay, I'm going to comically kneecap misogynists as often as possible, which I think I do in this book, with a prop.
Definitely do. So I'm going to ask you one more question in a second. There's so many comments coming through and we're nearly out of time. Well, we are.
No, we can talk for hours.
We'll keep going. Helen, man husband pleasing is generational. I still look after my husband, but my daughter and her husband are different. That is true. A lot of laughs. Deborah, yes. Michelle, I'm 37 and raised by a feminist, and I'm raising 2 little feminists. Very good. Yeah. Anna, I'm certainly the most open-minded in my family, and one brother says I'm too Aussie. No such thing.
No such thing.
Yeah, Michelle says, I say this as an English teacher and marking drafts whilst my girls run around like crazies. Oh, great. So you're watching. Yes. Kerry, congratulations, Kathy, on your success. 20 books. Amazing. Michelle.
It's therapy, what I would say. That's
that's very true. And I mean, seriously, what you went through with this and, being told that it's over.
Yeah.
Did you have the title for it then when you were told that?
No, at the time I was calling it Dancing on the Ceiling, until it cracks. And as I wrote it, I thought, no, this is really just about revenge. Just call it out for what it is, And in the book that the character writes, Matilda writes, goes on to be a big bestseller. And so I thought,
do you feel like you that by putting it down on paper and you it's like you manifest as well. Yeah, you put your energy into something and something occurs in real life as well with it.
But I do set myself up to, there's a man in the book, because there's sort of a love affair and there's a bit of sex in the book as well, because I think also women hit their sexual prime at this age. I mean, I can't believe I'm even vertical right now. I've got a younger guy. He adores me, doesn't bore me, does all my chores for me, But
I read the Carolina Overington article.
Oh,
actually, yes, she's divine, absolutely divine. But she wrote about him as well. So congratulations on that. Yeah.
But I do set myself up in the book because there's a character, a male author in the book who doesn't read women writers, and I know a lot of famous male authors who don't rate women writers. And she gets him to read every fabulous female author. But he does say, "Oh, but I read that friend of yours, Kathy Lette, and I just thought she was a bit glib and a bit brash for my liking." So I do send myself up a little bit too.
It's good, but you are someone to be taken seriously, Kathy. Jane, yeah, Sandra says she's just had her first laugh out loud for the first time in a while. Kerry says, okay, one-liners from your latest book, Kathy. One-liners are great. Emma's saying it's not on Audible.
I've just recorded it, actually. I just went into the studio and recorded it, so it will be out on Audible pretty soon.
Did you read it?
I did. And the accents were so hard. I'd forgotten I had so many accents in it. I was trying to do Irish, Scottish, upper class English. I could do the Aussie. The Aussie accent's perfect. So at least
Well, so Emma, it is coming out, and that will be a real treat because Kathy's reading it. Cindy says it's a great read. Michelle says a perspective not often considered or heard. Deborah says definitely purchasing this book. Kerry says hi, Vonnie, to Mum. Melissa says hello, Jane's mum. There you go. See,
hello,
and this is a good question, Michelle. How do you come up with ideas? What about writer's block? So Kathy just discussed writer's block, but how do ideas come to you? Is it like a light bulb? Do they drop in? Explain the inspiration, the moment of inspiration.
It's hard to say, isn't it? I think a lot of writers say that their great inspiration is the tax department. I don't say that. I do write from a place of fury often, but the fury I turn into funny. So, because it is still a man's world. 100 years since Emily Pankhurst tied herself to the railings, we still don't have equal pay. We're still getting concussion hitting our head on the glass ceiling, and we're supposed to clean it while we're up there. Then of course, you think that women face a second glass ceiling at home, because even though we make up 50% of the workforce, we're still doing, what do you reckon, like 99.9% of all the housework and all the childcare. And then it struck me one day that even God is a bloke. Think of all the things women go through. From when you first get taken hostage by your hormones once a month when you're a teenager and you get your periods, to pregnancy where everything swells to sumo wrestler proportions. Then there's childbirth where you stretch your birth canal the customary, or 6-7 kilometers. Then there's then there's the menopause, and then just when everything goes quiet, you grow a beard.
For me, it's nasal hair, but yes.
Well, you and I could make macrame hanging basket.
Yeah. Hang a fern from it. Yeah.
But my other motto in life is that laugh when the world laughs with you, cry and you get salt in your shampoos, which we definitely don't want. So women are very good at finding the funny and finding a way to laugh. And it's not just me imagining that. Anthropologists say that women laugh more often than men in all cultures on the planet, especially in all female groups, because it's our release, it's our catharsis, it's the way we bond, it brings out camaraderie, but it's also like strapping a giant shock absorber to your brain. If you can laugh at something, you take the sting out of it. And women, we do endure a lot. And without a good laugh with our female friends, I just don't think, I wouldn't survive.
Well, as much as I would love to talk to you all night, that is a perfect place to end, because your books and this book, all of them are like sitting down with a really good female friend. So on behalf of all of our beautiful women here tonight, just thank you for being one of the sisterhood, one of our friends, and writing stories that we all relate to, that make a difference to us, that entertain us and take us out of the drudgery of our lives sometimes, but at the same time make us feel empowered to kind of stand up, pull on our grandma panties and get out there and make a difference in our own lives. So thank you, Kathy.
Well, thank you for being my human wonder bra tonight. That was so lovely, so uplifting and supportive. And also, you're also a wonderful writer. So I feel we have a special sisterly bond in that way.
Thank you, Kathy. And I look forward to you've got to get back home, start writing again. And once all this crazy tour is over, and we look forward to having you back next book. But until then, just shoot for the stars. This book is going gangbusters. May it continue. Thank you so much for tonight.
And bye to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I just wish we were on a girls' night out. And
I know, we've got to have one.
I wish we were all swinging off a chandelier with a toy boy between teeth right now. So let's close our eyes and imagine we're there.
Oh gosh, whew, I know. Hot flush. Yeah. Thanks, Kathy.
Bye.